It's season 2, and Akil will tell me it's long overdue as well. So, yeah, got a action-packed show, and we've brought in the big hitters today. So, introducing my guests, you've got the first team assistant, Ishfaq Ali.
Oh, wow. So I'd only known me for about 30 years and he still doesn't know my name.
And he deals with you weekly.
Yeah, that's very
Several
awkward.
times a week.
And moving on, the second guest, you've got Sahel Ilyas.
Give him a round of applause. Yeah.
We should be having another guest as well, but apparently he's at the Cromwell Road studio and got lost.
I'm gonna put that down. Poor communication there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah. Cool. So the subject of today's show is the FC Peterborough ride to Paris, which the guys, we done teaming up with Children of Adam, and it was actually back in July, I think.
August? July. Yeah, July.
Yeah, it seems like a long time ago. But before we get into that, do comment on Facebook or text in on 074 191062. You can also give us a call and join in with the show on 01733 602 133. But yeah, the ride to Paris. What was that about?
Just before we get into that side, I'm a little bit disappointed. You've invited me here today. There's no tea, no biscuits.
The reason for that is we're not actually allowed any drinks or food
and he
in
told
the studio.
You the wrong location.
Yeah,
Let's
let that slide.
Yeah.
Where's the apology, bro?
Okay, guys. All right, 3, 2, 1. Ishi, I'm very sorry for getting your surname wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please accept my apology.
I will. Because he's Shaz's brother.
Cool. So the ride to Paris, what was it about? What motivated you guys to do it? And take it away.
I'll let you start.
So the ride to Paris was essentially to raise money for the Palestinians and everybody in Gaza. As we know, for the last, I believe it's 700 plus days, there's been an ongoing genocide where the people in Gaza are constantly being bombed, killed, lack of supplies, no food, no water, no electricity. Personally, myself at the time, I felt a bit helpless, and I was thinking there's nothing we can do to help them. And at the time, I heard that Children of Adam had organised a ride from London to Paris. Although I'm not a cyclist at all, I thought at the moment there's not much we can do, but if this is going to help anybody in any way, why not get on the bike and why not pedal for Palestine?
So for those people listening, or funny enough, one of the questions I did get was, were you literally riding all the way from London to Paris?
Well, what we could ride anyway, we couldn't ride over the channel, so we caught the ferry there. But apart from that, pretty much every single mile was pedalled all the way from London to Paris, so yes.
So how many kind of days was it over, and do you remember how many kind of miles it was?
Yeah, so it was over 2.5 days, around 200 miles approximately, which does seems a bit challenging, I think, but when you break it down, it wasn't too bad. I say that now, but the first day was horrific. I'd just like to point that out, but so 200 miles over 2.5 days.
Yeah. And Ishi mentioned he didn't actually. He's not a cyclist. Would you class yourself as a cyclist?
I'm definitely not a cyclist. I think Ishi's more of a cyclist than me, to be honest with you.
Do you guys have any kind of previous experiences of any rides?
So growing up, I was always on the bike, and I think in lockdown, as a group of friends, we started to ride, but that was more so we could get out the house. I wouldn't still classify it as us being cyclists. It was just a way to meet your friends in lockdown. So no, I think about 2 months before the actual ride is when we all 4 or 5 of us actually purchased a bike to do the ride.
Yeah, I think the longest ride before Paris, I think for all of us, was probably Skegness, when we went to Skegness. I can't remember what year that was in, but that was about 60 odd miles before our training. Obviously, we had the Cambridge ride and a few training rides in between. But yeah, I think I got my bike in May time. Went out for a handful of rides. I think we did the maths, didn't we, Ishi, that I think before the ride we had probably only ridden about 250, 300 miles tops over 2 months.
So preparing for a 200-mile bike ride, we had cycled in preparation a total of about 250 miles.
Over 2 months.
Over 2 months, yes.
What was the longest ride you guys done before the actual ride?
Oh, before we get to that, as soon as we did buy our bikes, I think somebody broke yours, didn't they?
Yeah. So I bought a new bike, quite a nice bike, I thought, and a dear friend of ours asked to borrow it, and he trashed it before I had a chance to get on the bike, to be honest, and I don't think it's been the same since.
So that 2 months was actually more like 6 weeks for you, because it took about 2 weeks fixing your bike, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll come clean on that. Guilty. So I think there was a training ride from Leicester to Peterborough. So it was organised by Children of Adam. So it's pretty much most of the group that were going. Like these guys, I didn't actually have a bike, or I just had like a normal kind of hybrid bike, quite old, quite battered. So the training ride was coming. I didn't actually have a bike, so I thought, what can I do? And Spin kindly agreed to lend me his bike. And
you totaled it.
yeah, I guess I wasn't concentrating, or whatever it was. Well, actually, what happened was I was using my phone, and I had one hand on the I was riding one-handed, like you do when you're a child and so on. But there was a pothole, quite a big pothole, and kind of it was over after that.
Yeah, I mean, just a disclaimer, my initial reaction wasn't to be worried about the bike, was it? I did ask how Zaid was.
Yeah.
Don't lie now,
About
you're on
that.
radio. Yeah.
Nah,
And,
to be fair to him, he was quite cool about it. It was a very expensive bike, very nice bike as well, actually.
Was.
And yeah, it was.
Was, yeah. And that's another message that we want to send out to the children. While riding a bike, never use your phone.
Yes, definitely. But I mean, the phone was okay, actually.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a Samsung, I'm guessing.
Nah, definitely not. I was a bit surprised, actually, because it flew out my hand straight onto the road. But yeah, not a scratch. So, but I mean, I did have a few cuts and grazes on my elbow, and my top did get ripped as well. So that was quite sad.
Yeah, I crashed it a couple of weeks later, I think.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
I'm going to blame our absent friend for that, Paddy. Anise, Coach Anise. We were just coming back from Stamford, and I want to say he suddenly stopped, or he done something. I clipped the back of his wheel and went flying. Cracked a couple of ribs. I
When
think.
you say he did something, what did he do?
I don't know. Yeah, it happened quickly.
Okay.
Why is a Coach Anise not here today, by the way?
No idea. Just like the rest of the radio hosts as well. No idea where they are. You got Waleed commenting on Facebook, so I know he's listening. He mentioned that I've been off for too long and I've forgotten how to host. I don't think I did know how to host in the first place, to be honest, but when everyone's disappeared, what can you do? And then Ibi with the sarcastic, glad you're okay side. Thank you.
No, I think that's genuine.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
put a smiley face at the end.
It's actually one of the Pinocchio ones. So,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, with your fall, I think, you got hurt quite bad, didn't you?
Yeah, I've still got the scars on my arm and stuff, so scarred for life. But
Bless your cotton
it's all good.
socks.
It's all good. As Ishi said, going back to a more serious note, obviously the cause of the ride, in comparison, obviously, is what we've done is nothing compared to what the people in Gaza, the children, the women, are going through on a daily basis and are continuing to be going through it at the moment.
Definitely. So do you think that feeling pulled you through any kind of challenging bits on the ride?
Absolutely.
And was that something that was like, in the back of your head, or was that something you guys were thinking about when you were on the ride?
Yeah, 100%. There were times where it did get difficult. It did get hard. The third day, it rained constantly to a point where I had 3 clothes changes and I was still soaked. I felt like the water had gone inside my body. That's how wet I was. But then you just remember that you're doing it for a greater cause, and that what the little suffering and little pain that we're going through is nothing compared to what the Palestinians and the people of Gaza are going through at the moment. So it definitely does give you a push. When you feel like giving up, you remember what you're doing it for, and it energizes you.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, obviously we had our tops which said ride to Gaza, or ride to Paris for Gaza and whatnot. And as we were on the ride, I don't know if you guys had similar sort of experiences. We had people sort of slowing down in their cars, saying, well done, keep going, beeping their horns, whatnot. I thought it may have been the opposite at some point. We may get that from some people, but I was completely wrong. And this is not just, it's not predominantly non-Muslims who were voicing this. And I think we had some people on the ferry come up to the Children of Adam guys and give a donation as well, which is beautiful, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is something that did surprise pretty much everyone, really. I think what I got from it was there's a lot of public support for Gaza and the suffering that the Palestinians are going through. And as you said, a few people did ask us for the link and donated. So, that was all brilliant.
No, I agree. Essentially, before, I'm going backwards a little bit here, but before we actually started, and I calculated how much training we had actually done, and it was like a couple of days before the ride, I thought to myself, why on earth have I signed up for this? I'm never going to be able to do it. I was unfit. I wasn't doing any kind of physical exercise apart from that little training that we did do on the bike. So at that point, I was thinking there's no chance that I'm going to complete this, but alhamdulillah.
This is Ishi being humble here, to be honest with you, because we split out into different groups throughout the trip, and Ishi was just at the front. Whole 3 days, beast, absolute beast, mashallah.
Some controversial clothing choices, but yeah, he was definitely.
Yeah, and he also left us a couple of times as well. Once.
So going back to the first day, there's this one rider. I'm sure you'll know this as well. He was meant to be like the fittest, the most ripped, one of the most leg strength, and he saw a few of them hills, and by the end of the hills, his hands were actually shaking.
Can't be our captain, can it?
And at one point, I actually think it hurt his ego. So on the following day,
ouch,
he went full ego riding mode. I'm sure I'm not mentioning any names, but you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think I do.
There's being in front, and then there's ditching your group and just deciding to.
It sounds like you're holding like a lot of hurt in your heart or something.
No, I'm just saying that certain people did ego ride.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay.
Fair enough. No, so in terms of the days itself, day one was a Friday, I believe.
Yes.
So what was the kind of starting point and finishing point for day one?
I'll do day one, you do day two, and
right.
We'll let you finish. So day one, we actually started on Thursday. We left our houses on Thursday, some of us, and we stayed overnight in London with the rest of the riders from Children of Adam. Now, it wasn't just FC Peterborough. There were other riders. There was the local legends, Toki and Arnie. We
Umair,
Umair,
our group leader Adil.
yeah,
Big shout out
Adil,
to Adil.
yes, top lad, Ollie. Who else was there? Adam and Bob.
That's it, yeah.
Is there any more? Are we missing any?
I think you've done quite well to remember everyone's names.
Yeah, unlike you, I remember people's names, but so we got there the night before. We had an early start. I think we woke up about 7 a.m. Went downstairs. Our bikes were in the Children of Adam van, so they drove it down to the starting point. We ended up going Tesco's and getting some bagels and some jam. No, Ollie actually bought some homemade jam. You remember that?
Yeah.
His mum had made some special jam. Absolutely amazing that was. So we started off having some bagels with jam and then setting off onto our bikes. Was it East London we started from?
Yeah.
East London, and we rode through central London all the way out towards Brighton. Actually, we went to New Haven. Was it New Haven?
New Haven, yeah.
New Haven, the port. On the way, there were some challenging hills, some massive hills. I mean, we live in Peterborough. We've never seen hills in Peterborough.
There's no hills in Peterborough in comparison to what we saw on that first day.
I mean, we would get to what we thought the top of the hill was, and we would look up, and there's another hill right in front of it, the same, just as big as the last one. And I walked the first one, and I thought to myself, I'm not walking another one. And alhamdulillah, I don't think I did for the rest of the day, but my legs definitely felt every single hill.
So how many miles did we cover in total on that first day?
The first day, I believe it was about 70 miles, between 65 and 70 miles the first day.
What was the most kind of challenging part of day one?
The hills. There were some riders on the ride that were calorie counting for some strange reason.
Yeah, Mujahid, who is conveniently not here.
And they crashed because from lack of calories. I think the hardest thing about cycling is because you're on the bike for such a long time, you have to keep constantly topping up your calories, your carbs, your sugars, your water. And it's easy to get to a point where you think, I can't be bothered to have any more snack bars or any more dates or any more sugary liquids, and you start feeling sick. But it's very important to constantly fuel yourself for the ride. I think that was the biggest learning point on day one for me, to make sure that I'm constantly topping up my calories while riding.
Yeah, I'll second that. I think so. I think in total we probably were aiming to ride for around kind of 6 to 7 hours on day one, and around like 60 miles. And I think we had a break point after 20 miles and then 40 miles. So myself in the morning, I did kind of fuel up quite good. I think I had some Weetabix at home, I think, and then I had like a sandwich just before the ride. But obviously, you know, we're not cyclists or whatever, and it's probably the longest rides, you know, we've kind of done. So when we stopped for the first break after 20 miles, I think I had like a little snack bar, like a protein bar or something, but that was it. And I was just having some kind of water and so on. But then literally from miles 20 to 40, I was like finished, out of energy and everything. And
were you shaking?
Yeah, I think I was shaking at the next stop. So at the next stop, literally, you know, made sure I fueled up properly. I must say loads. Can't remember exactly what, but then for the third part of the journey, I was okay. So yeah, I think the biggest learning curve on day one was that you got to top up those calories, because you end up burning through so many.
Fish and chips on the ferry did taste good after that ride, though.
Oh, the weather, it was hot, wasn't it?
It was hot.
It was
very
really
hot.
hot, yeah.
So I'm just having a look at the Strava breakdown I've got for day one. So I tracked mine in kilometers. So day one, I hit 96.5 kilometers, and we were cycling for a total time of 7 hours and 26 minutes.
Does that include breaks?
No, that was just cycling.
Oh, wow.
And then the total elevation was 1,061 meters. So, yeah, quite high.
Yeah.
So out of 10, how would you guys rate like day one? How hard was day one?
10 being the hardest.
Yeah.
10. For
Wow.
me. For me.
I thought it was about a 6.
It's a breeze
Yeah.
for
No,
the sheep.
but you know why? I was hyped,
Fair enough.
and that hype just like helped me push through. So I was hyped, and I got to the end of it, and I thought, yeah, I can do this. Not thinking that there's a day 2 and day 3 to come. So maybe I just like used too much energy on day 1. But at the end of day 1, I genuinely felt quite positive about it all, and I thought, yeah, I could do this. I've done the hardest bit. I've done the big hills, and I'm here now. I think we got there quite early for the ferry, so we had like a few hours to wait
Yeah.
before the ferry, and we topped up our food and everything. The worst part at that point is your legs getting stiff. Obviously, you've been sat on a seat for 7 hours, so it's not very pleasant on your backside and whatnot. But yeah, I think about 6 to 7 out of 10.
I think it's probably a good time to give our recovery driver a shout out. You had Fanny, who is driving our recovery vehicle, which was kindly lent by your Uncle Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you to Uncle Ash as well.
I think that was a perfect car for the journey.
Yeah, it was amazing, nice, comfortable. So, like you're sat on a sofa, you don't want to be crammed in the back of a car after riding 60, 70 miles. So, yeah, but I agree, it was a very good car to take.
So the ferry, where did the ferry?
Dieppe.
Dieppe.
Yeah,
Dieppe.
So
I
that's
think
what-
that's how it's pronounced.
that's where we
Sounds
stayed
French.
overnight. So day 2, spin. So
Yeah.
starting in Dieppe and where?
Starting in Dieppe, I don't actually know where we ended up, where we stopped on at the end of day 2. But day 2 I thought was probably the nicest day, easiest day. Beautiful weather. I had a couple of punches, which wasn't good. Paddy had a puncher as well. I think we done about 90 miles on day 2, so probably the longest in terms of distance. But it was completely flat, and for the majority was off-road on a nice cycle path. So you're cycling through the French countryside. You got beautiful farms and animals and stuff around. It's really, really nice on day 2. Day 2 for me was the best day.
What was the most beautiful animal you saw?
Wow.
What a question.
You just mentioned the animals, so I thought
There's
maybe.
animals. You know,
There were
there's some-
mainly cows, wasn't it?
There's mainly cows.
Mainly
yeah.
cows, yeah.
But
So you saw some.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. Moving on.
day 2. Remember when we stopped when I had a puncher, and then Ishi rode
That
off.
was quite a few
and then
times, so
Ishi-
which
we
one
was
are you-
Twice. We had I had 2
Oh.
punches, and then Ishi rode off.
No, I wasn't with you when you had
Yeah,
the punch.
Was you
what?
not? Were you not?
I do remember that issue riding off.
Mm.
Yeah.
I had a
No, no.
puncher, and then
You guys said to me, well, you guys said we've stopped for too long, let's get going. So I got on my bike and got going, and after about 10 minutes I looked behind me and realised you guys weren't there. But the reason you sent me initially and never left yourself is because you decided to take a group picture and not include me in it. And you know what? That group picture that you took was actually the nicest picture of the 3 days. You, Midge, Paddy and Zaid. And I was thinking, where was I at this time? I had to think, why am I not in this picture? And then I
Yeah.
remembered, Zaid sent me somewhere, didn't
Oh,
he?
I
He
sent
said,
you somewhere,
ride.
did I?
We've been waiting too long.
Yeah.
Ishi, ride. You ride and the rest will ride.
You know, it
So,
sounds like
yeah.
you've got a lot of trauma from this bike ride.
You know what? I think it was Zaid's idea to
It
take
was,
a
it was,
picture.
yeah.
Because I'm not one to be like, let's take a picture. You know,
Well, you
but
would have
that
said, you know
sounds
what? Let's call Ishi and we take a picture together. But Zaid, on the other hand, would have been...
Yeah, I'm going to let this slide. So, day 2, I think the thing that stuck out for me on day 2 was the cycle path.
Yeah,
Like, pretty much most of it, probably 90% of it was on, like, a cycle path.
yeah.
And then if you compared that to what we might have in the UK, I don't really think we have.
There's nothing comparable in the UK.
Saying that, the Cambridge ride, on the way to Cambridge, you got the bus.
Yeah, but that's like, what, 20 miles? This you're looking at
Yeah.
80. We did 80 miles of it. It does
Yeah.
carry on, doesn't it? and it is good tarmac as well.
Yeah, very smooth.
Yeah.
At this point, after lunch break is when that person we were talking about decided to eagle ride.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was the doner meat and chips that,
That set him off.
That's
Yeah.
it, Or he had a flashback from day one and thought,
He thought there's no hills here, let's put our foot down.
Yeah.
So we'll pause it there. We'll touch on day 2 and day 3 right after the break. Just before we go, question for you guys. Would you guys consider yourselves as cyclists now?
No.
No.
Right, we'll touch on that right after the break. Thank you.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
At Cake Inn, all our cakes and slices are freshly baked for that delicious taste. At Cake Inn, we bake 100% vegetarian and halal eggless fresh cream cakes. Delicious flavoured cakes for birthdays and weddings, ceremonies and all other occasions, with free customised messages, even balloons and candles too. Order for delivery or collection from Cake Inn, 489 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PE. And your cake could be ready within 2 hours. Find out more and order online at cakeinn.co.uk or call 01733 496 584.
Craving a heavenly escape in the heart of Peterborough? Heavenly Desserts is the perfect place to relax with friends, unwind with family, or for casual meetings with colleagues. You can now indulge in our delicious brunch menu with mouth-watering savoury delights, served from 11 a.m. every day. Visit us today at Cowgate, Peterborough, the go-to spot for good times and great company. Where else but Heavenly's? Party packages available for birthdays and other celebrations. Also available to order through Just Eat, Deliveroo and Uber Eats.
It's healthy, nutritional and halal. It's The Lads, your first choice for burgers, pittas, wraps and flame-grilled lamb chops and peri-peri chicken. Now with 5 fantastic new flavours. Plus sides, grilled salads and milkshakes too. Open daily from 11:30 until 11 p.m. Call in at 15 Cowgate in Peterborough. Order for collection online at thelads.co.uk or by calling Peterborough 562287 or place your Lads delivery order at ubereats.co.uk.
Award-winning ST Complete Care provide all kinds of regular and respite care for your loved ones. Rated good by the CQC and with outstanding reviews, ST Complete Care will tailor their services for children and adults, including helping with personal and home care, medication assistance, visits and appointments too. With bilingual carers, ST Complete Care are also experienced with disabilities, dementia, autism, Alzheimer's and more. To arrange your free assessment, call 01733 303300. Caring for you the way you want.
Craving authentic Desi flavors? Look no further than Desi Restaurant. From midday until 1 in the morning, enjoy our homemade specialties that will transport your taste buds. Indulge in tantalizing papri chaat and savor the rich Chersi Kadahi. Treat your friends to our fresh 1 kilogram Chersi lamb handi. Plus, get 2 12-inch pizzas for $11.95. Located at 298 Lincoln Road, we deliver from lunchtime until 1 a.m. Call 01733 555 795 now to order and experience Desi Restaurant's flavors.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
2020 World Buffet is inspired by the best foods from around the world. See our teppanyaki chefs grill your food to order, or choose delicious Indian, Italian, Chinese, Mexican dishes and British favourites, all halal. 2020 World Buffet offers you unlimited food at a set price. Open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Catering, wedding and party services available too. Call 01733 566 320 or visit 2020buffet.co.uk. 2020 World Buffet, 35 New Road, Peterborough, PE1 1FJ.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salam Radio. Salam Radio. 106.2 FM.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to FC Peterborough Weekly. We're live on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. And today we are talking about the FC Peterborough's ride to Paris. So, just before the break, I asked you guys, would you consider yourselves a cyclist now? And you both said no. But, I mean, how much money are you deep into this cycling game?
I can't say because my wife might be listening. So, no, I think it's expensive. There's no doubt cycling is an expensive sport. But at the same time, it's probably...
So just on that,
yeah,
I think there's like maybe like a misconception or something. Maybe I've been guilty of it, of thinking like this beforehand. But cycling is just like you pick up a bike and you can cycle, right? So what's so kind of expensive about it?
Yeah, so it depends on what type of cycling you want to do. If you're cycling, let's just say from your house to the mosque every day, it's probably different to the bike you'd require if you're cycling from London to Paris. So you get different types of bikes. The bikes that we bought, and I don't believe any of us had ever rode before, were road bikes. And back in the days, we used to call them racing bikes, the ones with the thin tires and the funny looking handlebars. So they are the long distance type of bikes. And then you get the hybrids, which are more short to medium distance, and then you get a normal mountain bike, which is probably what you tried doing on the Leicester bike ride, bunny hop and popping wheelies and stuff. So what we had were road bikes, and I think a decent road bike, I mean, if it's carbon fiber, so the lighter the road bike, normally the more expensive it is. New, you're looking at about 3,000 to 5,000, but you could pick up a second-hand one for about £500 to £1,500.
Yeah, just on the cost thing, if you or anybody you know crashes your bike, you will need to take it to the shop, and it will, you will incur some cost there. Just saying, just putting that in there. But in terms of, so you've got the bike, obviously. Thereafter, you've got clothing. So we needed waterproofs. What else do we need?
Waterproofs, helmets,
lights,
sunglasses.
Yeah, sunglasses, and then obviously the gels, electrolytes, all of that stuff. You've got your Garmin's, your cycling computers and whatnot. And just recently I bought some cycling shoes, some clip-in shoes, which I've used maybe once or twice. So going back to your point, do we consider ourselves cyclists? Probably not, because since Paris, I think we've done about 2 or 3 rides, and that's it.
No, but I think with all the gear that you just mentioned, you're definitely like...
It's that cliche where all the gear, but no idea.
Exactly that, yeah.
We're still on that level. I mean, we've had one long ride, and I genuinely believe anybody with a bit of training can pick up the bike, and they can probably do a similar ride to what we've done. So in the future, if we are going on any of these kind of rides, if you want to take part and you think, hang on, I'm not even a cyclist, neither are we, and that's the honest truth. We're just passionate about Palestine. We found a way where we could raise some money, and that's the only reason we done it. We got blessed. We got given an opportunity to give something back to the Palestinians. And apart from that, if it wasn't for Palestine, if you paid me tomorrow £5,000 to do that ride again, I wouldn't do it. So
yeah, just on that, we raised nearly £30,000, I think, in total. Is that right?
Yeah,
I believe the figures guy.
I think the whole kind of cause by like Children Adam, I think that's raised close to 30,000, which is a very large amount, and inshallah it does help in benefiting those that need it. In terms of day 2, I've just got some figures. So I think the total distance we've done was 119 kilometers, cycling for a total of 7 hours and 37 minutes, and the elevation was 678 meters, so not as high as day 1, but still like a decent amount.
Yeah, I think day 2 is more gradual though, right? Because I can't remember there being any, maybe one or two hills towards the end.
Yeah, I think when we started there was a couple of hills, just minor hills, and then from there it was probably, you're right, probably no, the last leg had a couple of hills.
Yeah,
if I remember right, or the middle leg.
The last leg did. Just before we got to the hotel, I think Eunice from the London group, he's like, yeah, it's just around the corner from here, boys. And me and Muji were like, yeah, sick. And then we get around the corner and there's a massive hill, and huge. So there were a couple, but nothing compared to the first day.
Just before lunch on the second day, you had to come off the cycle path and in towards like town centre. And I remember Adil was obviously our leader, so I stuck with my leader and not for my own group like some guys did. So I was following my leader, and he came off and he said, we need to go into town, it's just this way. And I distinctively remember him going up this massive hill. When I say massive, it's probably about a mile long. Till today, I don't know why he done it, because he just joined the road that connected to it and went back down the opposite way. So I think he just went up that hill for the sake of going up a hill, and probably to gas us out a little bit. So yeah, I felt that one.
So yeah, day 2, that was the total. I think, would you say day 2 was the nicest?
Yeah, by far.
100%.
Weather was nice. Ride was nice.
It was flat.
The doner and chips was nice also. Yeah.
Cool. So on to day 3. How was that?
So day 3 was a funny one. So day 3 we had to so us guys stayed one day extra. So most of the group went back on day 3. So they were meant to finish their ride, get straight into the van and go to the port and come straight back. Whereas us guys decided we're going to stay an extra night. So the start time was 7 a.m.
Yeah, it might have been earlier.
Yeah, about 6:30 they said meet up. Now, me being as forgetful as I am, I forgot to change my alarm, because most days we were starting at 8. So my alarm was still set for 6:45. So I woke up 6:45 thinking, oh no, those guys are setting off in 15 minutes. And they say when you travel with somebody, you get to know them. So I went into the room next door, and like a few of the lads were sat there, and I just asked a simple question. I was like, boys, how long you been awake? And they were like, oh, an hour and a half. So I said, why didn't you wake me up? And one of the guys with us, it caused a bit of an issue with him, the fact that I missed my alarm or I didn't set my alarm. But anyway, that's a different subject. So we got onto the bikes. Was it raining when we started, Zaid?
It was raining, yeah.
Everyone was wearing the
bulletproofs. So the other group had set off before us.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I was ready on time. I was ready 6:30.
Did anybody wake you up?
No, I got up at like 5:30. I was up early.
You know what? Yeah, you mentioned about how you get to know people and stuff on holiday with them. Spins up early, like before everyone. I think his routine was to go down, get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
The coffee or tea before his actual breakfast. So yeah, I think he was up early on all 3-4 days.
Even when we were when we stayed in Paris, so I think I was up before you.
And is it right to say that he keeps everybody up as well?
Do I keep
snoring?
No. Did I snore? Nobody was with me on day 2 anyway. Because
no, are you a snorer?
I probably am a snorer. If I'm tired, I'm probably definitely snoring.
Anyway, Farnese, bless him, had to sleep on the floor night 2, was it?
Yeah, so Farnese, our driver, support vehicle driver, he spent a night on the floor. So
no, that was night 1. Night 2, he shared a room with. No, night 3, he shared a room with me.
Do you think you woke up late on day 3 because of a heavy night like day 2?
Yeah, I think it all adds up. Day 2 was a long ride. It was the longest ride, wasn't it? And then I had we went for some food, went to mosque. By the time we got in, it was probably about 12 o'clock, because I remember you wanting dessert.
No, it was actually Anis who wanted dessert.
and we ended up getting ice cream from some place that looked a bit like.
I think I went at this point. I had gone back to the hotel and I had knocked out.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah, and then Adil was meant to stay with me. He didn't want to disturb me, so there was a spare bed in my room. And yeah, I would like to say. Do you know what?
That's day one, isn't it? Where
No,
you
that was
locked
day.
the door and you didn't let Adil in.
I didn't lock
So
the door and
Adil,
didn't let
bless
him in.
our group leader. Like without him, we probably wouldn't have been able to do the ride because he was showing us the way and whatnot. And he was supposed to be room sharing with Sahel, and I'm not sure how exactly it happened, but he got locked out of the room.
No, Ajisab, let me stop you right there. So like I said, right, I got back to the hotel a little bit earlier, went to sleep. Room wasn't locked. Adil, being the lovely guy that he is, he said he didn't want to disturb me. I did wake up, however, to a message.
Night one?
This is night one, yeah.
So hang on, night one.
After London, night one in
Yeah, you knew you had a spare bed in your room, and finally
No, but it wasn't spare at that point.
On the floor.
It wasn't spare at that point because Adil was meant to be occupying that room. I couldn't give that bed to Fani, and then Adil comes back at 1 o'clock in the morning, and Fani's asleep.
That is shocking.
So I just want to say though, you know what? I had a lovely sleep. It's so nice.
Yeah, I hope Fani is listening to this and realizing that he slept on the floor while Spin had a spare bed next to him.
Yeah, I've got a lovely picture of him on the floor asleep as well.
Day 3 stats, it was a total of 82.3 kilometers.
Yeah.
Elevation was 739 meters. So it wasn't as bad as day 1, but
the weather,
I think it did feel worse.
There was so we probably started about half an hour after the rest of the group, and so we were automatically running late before we even started. So we got to a point where it was raining. All of us were together at this point, I believe.
Yeah.
And the actual leader, who was from London, what was his name?
I just said it before. Eunice,
yes. Eunice said to us that you might miss the cut-off point, so you might need to get into the van.
So I think there was a cut-off point because a lot of the guys were catching a ferry back on day 3.
Yes.
So I think they had to travel on the minibus from Paris to Dieppe, where they were catching the ferry, which is like a 2-hour drive or something. So yeah, we had some time constraints in terms of when we had to be in Paris.
So we got to the point where we caught up with Eunice, and he said, you guys really need to put your foot down, or you're going to miss the cut-off point, and the van will have to come and pick you up. At that point, the ride was okay up until then, and that's when it started raining even worse. And I think we went on a 1.5 mile hill.
That was, we saw Eunice just before that hill.
Yeah. So it's a 1.5 mile hill. And when I say it was raining, it wasn't just rain, it was torrential monsoon rains. And on that day, we had a couple of falls as well. Paddy fell off. Zaid tried riding off, but then I said, Zaid, stop. We've got somebody who's fallen, so Zaid stopped.
My bike stopped working, and then Zaid gave me his bike.
Yeah, and then Paddy's bike stopped working after his fall as well. When we say stop working, the gear stopped working. So you were still able to ride it, but the gear stopped working. When you got onto Zaid's bike, did you realise he had the best bike there?
Yeah.
The fastest?
Yeah, it made it so much easier, honestly.
So do you think if you had it on day 1,
I would have been flying?
You would have.
I would have been flying.
Yes.
Which is funny because I actually probably prefer Spin's bike.
Zaid's just saying that.
I think it's a lot better. But so would you say day 3 was the hardest?
I think in terms of overall, bearing in mind there was time constraints, the weather was bad, there were hills, maybe not as many hills as day 1, but if you combine it all together, I think day 3 was the hardest for me. That was probably an 8 out of 10 for me, day 3.
How would you rate that out of 10 in terms of difficulty?
Day 3 for me was slightly different because me and Midge lost the pack, and then we got lost. So we ended up riding probably about 20-25 miles in the opposite direction. and I didn't have my phone with me because Zaid had my bike, and my phone was with my bike. So we had no navigation. Midge couldn't get any data because he needed to update his phone or something. So we ended up in some random French village.
Does Midge have an Android by any chance?
Yeah, I think he does.
That explains it.
Well, anyways, we ended up in some random French village. Lovely pastry shop owned by a Tunisian brother who let us stay there, gave us some pastries, and then we were able to use his Wi-Fi and contact Fani. So for him, it was an hour and 30-minute drive to come and pick us up. So that gives you an indication on how far off the track we were. But yeah, day 3 was the weather was horrific. The hills were horrific. Bike wasn't working. But I'd still say day 1 was harder.
Fair enough. So I think on day 3 everyone did kind of split up, but I think we met probably. What was the distance outside of
10 miles maybe?
10 miles?
Yeah.
Probably about 10 miles, just between 10 and 15 miles outside of Paris.
Yeah, so the whole group, probably total riders of maybe...
There's about 13 from London and about 11 of us.
Okay.
I think...
It's probably close to 30.
Yeah.
So we all kind of stopped around 10 miles outside of Paris, and then we all made the journey there together. And I think that was quite nice, having everyone together. You were kind of on the... city streets and so on. So there was a lot of people. There was a lot of attention that.
I don't know if you guys remember. We went through this one little I think it was a market or something going on inside Paris. And while we were going through, there was actually a Palestinian protest for Gaza going on.
Yeah.
And there were people there with placards about Gaza, and us guys riding through with our London to Gaza tops on. It was the hardest day for me, but seeing that was probably the nicest moment of the ride for me as well, to think that sometimes you forget that there's Muslims all around the world, and every Muslim suffers the same when their Muslim brothers and sisters are getting killed. So to see the support that even in Paris the Palestinians were getting was probably my favourite moment of the ride.
Yeah, definitely. I do think. I've got a very vivid memory of riding through the market, and Palestine flags.
People were chanting.
Yeah.
We started a chant.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
So, what did it feel like when you actually got to the Eiffel Tower and the ride was complete?
Spin.
I thought it was bittersweet, maybe, because end of the journey. It was nice to make it to the end, but the journey's finished. Then it was sort of done. But it was a nice moment being there with the whole group, and similarly, there were people who saw us and started chanting "Free Palestine," Allahu Akbar,
outside the Eiffel Tower.
Outside the Eiffel Tower. So it was a nice moment. A bit of relief as well, probably.
And Ishi, how about you?
I think for me, it was quite emotional time. Finishing, it was kind of like, okay, we've got here now. We've rode all the way from London. There was times we struggled, but no matter what, we just pushed through, and we finally got here. And I think it made it better that we finished as a group, rather than I'm finishing now and then Zaid's finished 20 minutes before me and Spin's joining in 5 minutes later. The fact that we all finished together as well was nice. That was emotionally. Physically, I was fine for the first 2 days, but I don't know what happened. Wallahi, I got off that bike and my legs wouldn't move at all. It was like my body was waiting for me to get to the Eiffel Tower, and it just gave up on me after that. I could hardly walk back to the car.
So, would you guys do it again?
For Palestine, yeah.
Yes,
or for charity, I'd say.
But I'll probably would want a different ride. We've done London to Paris. It's got to be something else.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question. What's next?
See, we've still got this WhatsApp group where these guys are, the FC Peterborough WhatsApp group or cycle group, should we say?
Something's wrong.
Oh.
Please try again.
Oh, Siri jumped in
So
there.
Siri jumped in, yeah. So the FC Peterborough cycle group, and there's a few rides going on at the moment which I'm trying to get these boys on, but none of them seem to be replying. But there's quite a few we can.
The Morocco one
do.
did look good.
There's Morocco, yeah, right through the Sahara Desert.
So what you're saying is, the cycling group isn't dead just yet, and we are looking to do something in the future.
Yeah, I would love to get more people on board as well. I mean, there's us 5 that are in the group, plus Fani 6. But if we could get more people on board, and I said, like I said before, you don't need to be a cyclist. You just need to have that.
I think it's just a good vibe when everyone's together. You're outdoors. You got a good kind of company. So it's not really so much about the cycling. It's good laugh as well.
It's a good laugh, and then you're doing it for a good cause as well,
Yeah.
which is the main thing. If you're like me and at times you feel helpless seeing all this stuff on your social media, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, wherever it might be, and you think there's absolutely nothing I can do, there is something you can do, and it's taking part in events like this, whether it's raising money through cycling or doing a fun day or a bake sale or anything. Raise money, and I know a lot of people say the aid doesn't get there, but the aid slowly but surely does trickle in.
Sure. So that's the FCP Cycling Club, if you would call it that. If you do want to join and get involved, do get in touch, and we can make that happen. And along with the cycling club, we also have the FC Peterborough Running Club. So I think there's probably, from last I heard, there's probably around maybe close to 10 people taking part in the Great Eastern Half Marathon. So I think off the top of my head, you've got Jamal, Waleed, Safi, I think Fizan, Wakar, Arkam as well, maybe Zami as well. There's probably, close to 10 people who will be running the Great Eastern Half Marathon, which is taking place in October. So hopefully we can get them on at some point, possibly next week on the show. But do look out for the fundraiser on that.
Yeah. I've got a question for you, Zaid.
Yeah.
And Spin, who would you like to see join us on our next one that probably weren't there this time round?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a call out.
Someone from the club or community or anyone?
Could be anyone.
I'll let Spin go first.
No, I'll let you go first.
No, I'll let you go first.
I need time. I need a moment to think. I'm still thinking.
I'd probably say the chairman.
You know, I was just thinking our chairman.
Yeah,
he'd be a good laugh as well, I think.
I think there's if you think about the Green Army, there's a few in the Green Army.
Yeah, Uncle Sadat as well.
That could join us. I know Raheel bought my...
Whoa, guys.
What?
Did you just say Uncle Sadat?
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy.
You mean...
I have respect.
Sadat.
I have respect for my elders, Haji Sahab.
We've got a comment from Waleed. Apparently, Safi has bottled the Great Eastern Run. So, you know what? If you're talking about call-outs this year...
Apparently, Safi sprained his shoelace, so he can no longer do it.
Nah, I think so. From what I heard, Safi was on it. Had the Great Eastern Run booked. Well in advance, probably 6 months ago. So, yeah, I think this is a call out. Safi, you have to do it now. You've got a good, close to 10 people. So can't back out now.
Yeah, and if you don't do that, you have to come on the next bike ride with us. Actually, no. Go on the go on the run, mate. Stop bottling it.
So, are you firm on your answer, Uncle Sadat?
No. I'll go with your suggestion as well.
Hang on,
the chairman.
The chairman, Arif.
Yeah.
Is it Uncle Arif? Because he's actually older than Sadat.
Yeah. I'm not going to. No comment
Uncle
is what
Sadat,
I'll say.
Uncle
say
Sadat and Uncle Arif.
If you guys are listening, do.
No, but that's genuinely from a place of respect. It's not from
Zaid. Who would do? Who? It's too late, mate. The time is done. Who would you like to see? You said the chairman, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Shaz. I would want to see Shaz on it. and
Shaz used to come on the bike rides back
yeah,
in the days, didn't
he
he?
used to.
Yeah.
He has bought a couple of bikes, or in that time period, he did buy a couple of bikes. I don't
But
think he's ridden them since.
Have
but
you ridden them more than him?
Probably,
Have
yeah.
have you crashed him?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a final thing, if you have got a nice bike, keep it away from side.
Yeah. On that, are you selling your bike or are you keeping it?
Well, it depends if we go on another ride. If you guys are up for doing another ride, I'll keep it.
I'm going to keep mine. We'll do another ride.
Sure. So, thank you guys for joining me. I know we tried to get Issue on for the whole of season 1, and it's happened in season 2. So, special thanks to you. And
still no food and drink though.
No, but next week, back to the football. Thank you for joining us at FC Peterborough Weekly.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Fancy the true taste of Middle Eastern Kurdish food? Asia Restaurant gives you